Hi everybody, Josiah here, also known as Chilling Silence, and it's kind of a bittersweet moment because this may very well be the last video that I ever do for DigiByte. So no doubt a lot of you will have seen on Twitter. Yeah, this might be the last one. Let's get into it though. Apologies in advance. I do have a stomach reflux problem and things like that. So you'll see me taking a few sips here and there. Anyway, let's get stuck into this. So what I'll do is let's quickly transition and we will show the desktop. I've put together a bit of an article. It says here it is a 40-minute read. Now, the reason that I wanted to kind of do this afterwards is I wanted to be able to address any questions that I saw come up with a lot of people. A couple of questions have come up on the regular. I suppose the number one question is going to actually be related to what we've seen here. So what we can do, this is DigiByte core, and this is the DigiByte repository. We're going to go here to the work in progress. Two things a lot of people have asked me. Number one, why don't you make a pull request? It's a really good question. I'll show you why in a second. Number two, holy damn, this guy's done a lot. Good job, Yoshi, because you are a freaking trooper, dude. You are amazing. Yeah. Anyway. So here, I made a message yesterday. Just a heads up, Bitcoin removed OpenSSL back in 0.19. It shouldn't need adding back in. Now, if you are a solid developer, you won't need to add it back in. So Jared says here, Bitcoin removed OpenSSL for SHA-256, Qt, and a few other places. It was used in many places, which is true. This is one of the few things he's ever said that's actually true. It was used in many places. However, we still need it for scrypt. Not true. Litecoin still uses it as well. True, because they are on 0.18 before Bitcoin removed it. I'm all for fully removing it, but it takes doing and reworking. So let's have a couple of quick looks at these. So Litecoin project, and so this one here, let's go. This is Jared's latest based on 8.22. He's gone and put it back in. And this is Litecoin, have also gone and put it back in. Now OpenSSL is an additional library that we don't need to have, and it's a vulnerability because OpenSSL, a lot of you will remember the Heartbleed vulnerabilities and things back in the day. We don't want OpenSSL to be part of it. Jared's gone and added it back in, right there. We can see it right there. So what I'm going to do actually is I've got a virtual machine here, and I'm going to show you what it's like to compile DigiByte. But a couple of things first. Stay with me because I'm going to try and explain this. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to git clone github.com/digibyte core digibyte. Okay, so this is DigiByte. We're copying DigiByte to our computer. We're going to compile it, we're going to run it, but I'm going to show you some stuff along the way. What we're also going to do, let's do this with Bitcoin. Git clone, I think it's Bitcoin. Yeah, it looks like that's working. Cool, okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go into the DigiByte directory. And this is what DigiByte currently has. Hang on, so it's hash include. Okay, so we're going to grep -ir. We're going to search for include OpenSSL. And we're going to look through everything. This is the current version of DigiByte. It has all of these requirements for OpenSSL. lines in total. Now, yeah, he's actually right. This is one of the few things that he says that is truthful. You can see that it's used by the utilities. It's used by the Qt web interface. Desktop interface, big number, random number, a few other bits and pieces. So we use it specifically for scrypt, and we use it for, I believe it's Quibbit is the other one. Now, what we're actually going to do is we're going to copy this just so that there's no ambiguity here. And we're going to cd Bitcoin, and we're going to paste it. Let's see what Bitcoin has. Boom, we've got a couple of them here for Bitcoin. So there's still Word count, line count, 11 instances that it has it, but they're only in the testing and the benchmarking, like nobody cares. It's been removed from Bitcoin, basically, for good reason, which is cool. So let's go back to DigiByte. But what we're going to do is we're going to swap to this one, the feature branch of 8.20.1, which is what I mentioned specifically in this article, that Barry had finished basically last commit, November 15th. So let's swap to that. So we're going to go git checkout. Now, this is also important because this is one of the things, this is the hill that Jared and GTO90 want to die on. They cannot do this. So if I come all the way down here, there's so much in here. I'm very well aware this is a verbose and complete and comprehensive. I can tell a lot of people have read it. I can tell a lot of people haven't read it because of the things that they're saying. For reasons I cannot grasp, this is the hill that GTO90 and Jared seem to want to die on. Rather than changing Git branches and checking the Git history, they would rather spend far... No, I don't just mean far more hours. I mean countless hours redoing things from scratch. Smart Array, Yoshi, has said he doesn't mind doing a rebase. DigiContributor has said there's also merit to doing a rebase. Oh, I mentioned it down here. So this is what they would have to do to check the Git history. So when Jared says that it would lose the Git history, this is what's involved. I'm going to show you. Git checkout feature / 8.20.1. And that's it. Really, really difficult. Like, that's how long it takes to check the history. You simply swap to the older branch. But apparently that is impossible to do. You shouldn't do it, and this sky is falling as far as he would have you believe. So what we're going to do now, let's try some things. So we're going to do autogen.sh. We're actually going to build the version of DigiByte that was contributed all the way back last year. Let's get rid of Bitcoin because we don't need this anymore. No one cares about Bitcoin. Now I'm hoping this isn't going to take too long. This part should only take about 10 seconds. It's done already, so let's go, let me have a quick look. So we need /configure with incompatible Berkeley database because we haven't got the other one installed on this computer. We're going to go disable tests. We're going to go disable bench because we want to be fast about it. That'll do us. And what we're going to do, so basically this is us building DigiByte as Barry had committed it back in November. So we can actually see this is November. You can come back here, the last contribution. Now, removal of OpenSSL traces. If only we had somebody that was competent that could remove OpenSSL rather than trying to re-add it back in. Jared here would have you believe that's going to take a lot of doing and reworking. It really will if you're doing what Jared's done and starting from scratch. If you have thrown out everything that Barry has previously done, then yeah, that's going to take a lot of work. Something that he's clearly not been able to do because he's been having one hell of a time today, which is the first time in freaking ages he's decided to jump back in and do things. But we did this. And you can see here. Let's have a look at the commits. Back in November 15 of 2020. So this is what, 9 months ago now? November 15th. I committed that. Barry committed that. Barry's been doing some more stuff. Anyway. Where are we here? He would have you believe it's going to be problematic. It's really not. Now, the beauty here is that because of the way that OpenSSL is used, you can't just put any kind of random number generator in there. It's got to generate the same kind of numbers, or otherwise the hashes aren't going to match. The whole entire blockchain's not going to sync, and it's just not going to work. Let's swap back and let's... Yeah, cool, okay. With Qt, yep, cool. So what we're going to do is we're going to go... Let's time make... And we're going to do 8 threads. I have no idea how long this is going to take, but I feel like this is really important because it's time we got to the truth. Because I've seen a lot of people, and I've seen the comments as well from Jared yesterday, that were not truthful. And this is really important because he has not been truthful with people. At no point has he actually said the truth, except for where I kind of I identified that earlier. It was used in many places. Yeah. Yeah, it was used in many places. So what? Like, who cares? I think what we're going to do is we're actually about to go and watch the video. I haven't seen it yet. So this is going to be really interesting to kind of watch along with it. And I've got it up here. My personal video message to me and the blockchain community. I address several issues, topics, and division in the community head on. Oh, this is going to be good. I explain how the current upstream merge process and more. Please feel free to ask questions below. Oh, you're going to ask some questions today. This is specifically what has inspired part of this. Number 1, stop twisting facts and lying. I haven't lied. He can't name one part where I've lied about. OpenSSL is used in multiple other places. It is. So what? You can still remove it. It's not only used in AirScript. That's true. That's one of the few things he says that's true. It's used by Quibbit, tests, and Qt. Yeah, so what? Bitcoin removed it. They still use Qt. They still use tests. Who gives a shit? It will not compile without the OpenSSL dependency. That's what you think. Oh, sweet child. Sweet ignorant child. It was never removed. Oh. That's a really big assertion? Assertion? Yeah, no, that's a bold statement. It was never removed. Oh, it really was from Bitcoin. We removed it as well, and you can see it here. Like, this is the commit. We literally just pull it out. We don't need it anymore. This is me. It's now gone. Yay. I wrote that back on November 15th, and then Barry's committed it. Like, it's gone. So already he's full of shit. I was adding it to a virtual machine's OS for auto tests. No. No. No, you really weren't. This is the hard part, though. There's not a lot of... Like, if you were to read that, right? Like, let's pretend that you are not a developer. You'll read that at face value and go, oh, yeah? Cool. But if you know better, you know that he's full of shit. So let's go up here. Second, you and Barry never talked risks of blindly yanking OpenSSL from AirScript with any of us or the community. Why would you? Bitcoin have already removed it. They've identified that OpenSSL is a security problem. Why would you add in a security problem, Jared? Litecoin still uses it for a reason. They do. You want to know why that is? Because Bitcoin removed it in 0.19. Litecoin project, let's have a look at what they're at. 0.18. It was still in there. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Although entropy gathered by Litecoin is fed out to OpenSSL and read back in, yeah, so what? Like, you can get other sources of randomness. So, yeah, like, why would Barry go back to the community and go, hey guys, do you want to add in a security vulnerability? Why would you say, let's add in an additional library we don't need? That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Let's have a look here. You nor Barry have ever put forward any pull request to DigiByte core. That's actually true. This is one of the few things that he says that's true. We haven't. And there's a really good reason for that. You see what that says? DigiByte core, DigiByte. He committed it straight there, like, before the requirement for a pull request was there. The code is there to look at. Jared has been referred to this countless times. There is no need for a pull request because the pull request says, please take my code and incorporate it into your repository. It's already fucking there. Like, it's literally right there. Stop telling people we rejected anything. No, this is true. You did. You rejected it. And I'll show you where you rejected it. Dun, 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 dun. Here's one thing. Let me clarify for everyone. So this is on the 24th of January this year. Their 8.21 branch is broken in thousands of places. And it's like unraveling a spaghetti ball. From a dev perspective, it is pointless. Best to start with a clean and documented merge. That is Jared Tate himself throwing out all of Barry's work. From a dev perspective, it is pointless. This is his words, not mine. Best to start with a clean and documented merge. Okay. We carry down. This is literally like a couple days later, and you can see it's running. Like, Jared's full of shit. That's all there is to it. The unfortunate thing is he also says here, I think it would take maybe 3 to 5 hours to get to this done and get a compilable 8.21 build going. So this is the problem. Jared is telling people, specifically the DigiByte Foundation, who are not technically inclined, they're not developers. He's telling them it might take 3 to 5 hours to get 8.21 done. But then down here in May, when he's talking to me, he's saying, Joe, I've done this 5 times now. It took me like 2 to 3 months each time. Which one is it, Jared? Because you're full of shit no matter what. Anyway, the great part is he comes down here and he says, I will keep working on 8.21. For the time being, I revoked Joe's GitHub access and will continue working on the upgrades. These are the upgrades that he's done. This is his code. This is nothing to do with Barry or anything else that's previously been done or that we're about to see, at least I hope, should work. Just like it did back in January. Again here, this is me saying Barry's already got it done with RC3, so I'll see how he goes rebasing over top. Jared says, is he on Signal? To which I said, nah, he's only on Telegram. Meanwhile, so that was the 20-something, so it was a week prior where Jared said, heads up, download Telegram. But then down here, the reason why Jared didn't actually reach out to Barry, I said down here, I offered twice to connect you on Telegram and you weren't interested. And Jared says, that's not true. I simply didn't trust Telegram. That was my issue. He doesn't trust Telegram. But yet we have here on January the 14th, literally like a week earlier, him saying, download Telegram. Which is it? He's lying either way. The best part is now we've got on August the 1st, I want to let everyone know, due to the Orwellian censorship occurring on this platform, I am actively creating other outlets to communicate. Follow me on my personal Telegram. Someone's a lying cunt. So he says here, if they don't want to work together, let them keep fighting on their jumbled mess. But know this, we will have 2 competing code bases emerge from this. One tidy and documented, one garbled and hacked together, missing tons of things with much shit broken. They will fight for weeks and months to try and fix it. The funny part is, we haven't actually adjusted anything since then, so we're about to see, hopefully, if it does or does not work. Thank you, Jared, for the inspiration there. The really, really great part is so he says this is Saturday, January 20-something. I don't remember. Yeah, the 20th of January, okay. But wait, it gets better. We're going to come down here. To where I asked Jared in May. I said, Jared, everything that you did, so he gave Barry basically, I think it was like 3 or 4 days. I don't remember if it was 3 or if it was 4. Let's say it was 4. So I said to Jared, hey, the work that you were doing, which he spent like 4 or 5 days on, and then allegedly he spent several weeks afterwards on, but there were no commits, so whatever. I said to him, does this compile and work on mainnet? And he says, bro, you are a fucking dick. Seriously? I thought it was a valid question. Does it work? So what we're going to do now is we're actually going to look, yeah, so this is already compiled, it's already done. Cool. So if we go source and then we go DigiByte, where's DigiByte QT? No, that's right, they put it in source QT now in Bitcoin. So we go DigiByte QT, cool. Let's just go dandelion equals 0, so we don't have to worry about that. Ta-da, we have DigiByte. Okay, so now there is still a couple of things. It still mentions, I'm pointing and I see that you can't see that. It still mentions Bitcoin blockchain. Do we, like, is this really, like, broken? Not really, no. And it says there it's approximately 6 gigabytes. No, it's actually a little bit more. It's 20 for the whole blockchain instead of 320. But anyway, we're going to fire it up. DigiByte Core. Ta-da! It just works. Like, it already works. This is the code that you can go and download now. Since November. The code that Jared says doesn't exist. The code that he said he was looking at. And you can do it. Like this, it's there. It's synchronizing. The best part is there's no error up the top there, unlike the code that he was working on, which had a whole bunch of unknown rules. So, yeah. Here we go. Core dumped. This is the problem that we have with Dandelion. So, it gets better because I specifically mentioned this to Jared, that there is a problem at the moment with the Dandelion stuff and the way that it works and the way that we This is the last like major bug that we had to fix. Like there is one bug. You should ask him how many there are at the moment in his code. Here we go. Things we're having fun with. La 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 la. Here we go. Mempool rebroadcast changes from upstream also mean Dandelion needs lots of checking. And we've changed disable Dandelion to be more in line with naming conventions. So I told him this. This is the Thursday, and he said, cool. He's going to start dropping notes in there for reference. But he never actually helped out. Because it very quickly became, shit's broken. And so rather than working with Barry, Jared requires that everybody works with him. Because his ego cannot fathom somebody else having done most of the work, despite the fact that Yoshi's actually done most of this work. Anyway, so what we're going to do, I'm aware that we're already 20 minutes in. Let's quickly get started on here. The truth is, work has never been fully finished nor put to the test. Yeah, just like his stuff is nowhere near finished. He hasn't done anywhere near the amount of work that Barry has. Like, it's literally right there. You can go see the commits and things. Let's have a quick look. What was the fourth one? How about you stop driving a wedge? This is Jared's main fault. He literally admits to it. Stop twisting facts. I don't know. I thought I've been pretty upfront and pretty honest thus far. And talking with authority on technical subjects you do not fully understand. That's ironic coming from the guy who doesn't understand how multi-algo works. He doesn't understand multi-algo. He doesn't understand multi-shield. He was the direct cause of double spends on on DigiByte in 2018. Ask him about that, because he's full of shit. This whole part here that he says, lies. And we have screenshots. April 15th. Show that and see whose name comes up. Actually, I tell you what, can we do that? Let's bring this up. Git show 96FA4E56. Author, Jared Tate. Yeah. So this was on, where are we? April the 5th, April the 6th, he was told. Nothing happened until 6.16.3, August the 6th. So, from April the 5th until August the 6th. So what, 6 months? Nothing happened. Nothing happened, despite the fact that Jared was told about a security vulnerability that caused double spends on DigiByte. Let's let that sink in for half a second. He was told 6 months prior, a responsible disclosure in private, and Jared did nothing. Anyway, so if we come down here, I specifically mention Jared doesn't understand multi-algo, he doesn't understand multi-shield. Matthew has to come back to our chat and interject and say, Jared, you are wrong. We do not have sharding. It does not affect the block timing. You are wrong. Jared is wrong. He doesn't understand how it works. Anyway, so what I'm really looking forward to is watching this video. I explain the current upstream merge process and more. Feel free to ask questions. Oh, we're going to have questions. Now, I actually said to Rutger of the DigiByte Foundation, we should have a bet. I bet that there are less than 3 truths, but more than 4 lies. Shall we watch? Let's see here. I hope this comes through.
Hey everyone, Jared here.
Why have we got no audio?
I wanted to take a few minutes to say a personal message not only to the DigiByte community.
Ah, it's because I've got an unplugged that. Ah, ha, ha. Oh, look, it's suggesting Cardano. Cool, let's try this again.
Hey everyone, Jared
here.
here.
This?
I wanted to take a few
going out my microphone
to say a personal message not only to the DigiByte community, but to you as well, Josiah. First and foremost,
Joe. This page so I can hear it as well, because I'm aware that you can hear it because you're recording my desktop audio. Let's have a look.
Hey everyone, Jared here. I wanted to.
Why is this not coming through? Let me plug this in real quick. And swap back. Oh. Okay, this is not fun doing that on my poor feet, but we're good. We are plugged in. Okay.
Take a few minutes.
Oh, yeah, cool.
To say a personal message not only to the DigiByte community, but to you as well, Josiah. First and foremost, Joe, I love you, man. I love you like a brother. You have done so much for DigiByte over the years, and we have had so many great conversations and bounced ideas off each other.
This is true, we have, and I've appreciated some of his calls over the years. We've literally spent... I remember sitting outside of the bird barn once while my wife was getting things for our pets, and we spent 2 hours talking about the idea for DigiDollar. Hasn't eventuated, but...
From time to time.
It was fun anyway.
I really do miss that. You know, I'm trying to address some of the issues in the videos or reasons why that's not happening anymore. But, man, you have got to stop.
Wait, come back to me.
Hey, everyone. I love you like a brother. I mean, I really do miss that. You know, I'm trying to address some of the issues in the videos or reasons why that's not happening anymore. But, man, you have got to stop driving this wedge in the community.
Which is hilarious, given that he's the one who's doing it, because he will not play nice with others. Nobody. He could have reached out to Barry at any point in time. He could have said, hey, Barry, I understand, because Jared's gone through and read all of this, right? Can we go back to the top? He is currently battling OpenSSL. Now, allegedly, he has read this, where I've said that it was a showstopper back in the day. I've also said here, Barry quickly identified it was an issue. I've also said down here, Barry has done other major work. Bitcoin Core had removed OpenSSL in 0.19, which Scrypt uses. This is part of what caused many issues with 8.19 for Jared back in January of 2020, so 18 odd months ago, and Akshay Nexus had attempted to re-add as a quick fix. Instead, Barry did the right thing and removed the requirement of it. This was no mean feat, and not the kind of thing some junior coder could accomplish. We saw relatively skilled people trying to add it back in. Nor is this the kind of thing that someone can fluke, because the hashes have to match, so it's got to be a like for like. This is the kind of thing that requires a lot of skill and intricate knowledge of how all the pieces are tied together to make the hashes match what they should be. So, seems like it's him.
And twisting facts and...
I'm pretty sure I have given screenshots of everything, so I don't think I've twisted anything. I'm pretty sure they're all just really uncomfortable because he's fucked up and doesn't want to admit it.
Putting out false information about me.
Can we name one thing that's false information? Because I would be very, very excited. If you can name one, why not try for maybe 2 or 3 even? Even if it's not like 100%, maybe it's 90% accurate. I don't know. I'm open to it, and I'm more than willing to apologize.
You know, I have tried to get you on a phone call even...
That's not exactly true. So he said once, back in May, and I can find the signal chat if we really need this. He said once back in May, will you get on a call and discuss this? To which I said no fucking way. I said there is no way that I'm going to get on a call, because this needs to be explained to the public. People need to see this, which is hilarious given this is exactly what he wants in Getter. So why would he try and resolve this through a phone call? He's trying to brush it under the rug. This needs to be public, 100%.
Recently tried to get you on a Zoom call.
Actually, so we'll tick that off. Yes. Kind of. That's like a 50-50. He said he did. He wanted to get me on a phone call in May, to which I declined and said this needs to be public. And I think there's a pretty good reason for that. So,
you know, from January through a few months, I tried to reach out to you. You had me blocked.
No, that is not true whatsoever, because as you can see in here, I unblocked him in January, and I helped Jared with Libre Earth, his whatever social network that never eventuated. I had to set that up because nobody else would. Number one, nobody else would work with him. I did. So in terms of people playing nice, I came to him and played nice. I unblocked him despite everything, and I still helped him out. Even though I think LibreEarth is a terrible idea, I still helped him out. If he ever tries to say that I have not come to help him out, he is full of shit.
The crux of all this really is misinformation.
Yes, and he's really good at spreading that. I'll have you know. We're about to find out. Let's watch it.
And there's no one single person to blame. There's
No, there really
one
is.
group to blame.
No, there really is.
This needs to end. So
It really does. Now, this is the hard part because who is at the root of this? Like, we've seen this down here. All we have to do, like let's take this double spin back in 2018 as the first one. Who's lying about this? Jared says here, there was nothing ignored. It was well understood it would take a hard fork to fix completely, and we needed to do it in the next major update. Market dynamic quickly shifted. Changes were made. The problem was fixed. No. Nothing happened until August, after DigiByte had been double spent on twice at least. Twice DigiByte was double spent on, and then action happened. This is all lies. 100% him.
this is what this video is about. But nonetheless, you've left me in a position where I need to be direct with the community and you, and I need to clarify 4 big things.
Good. Okay. I can't wait to hear what these 4 big things are. Maybe there will be some truth to them, because so far the closest truth is, yeah, he actually asked me once in May for a video call, and I said no because it needed to be public. So let's see what happens.
Number 1, I have never rejected a pull request or any code that has been submitted by yourself, Josiah, or Barry. Neither.
Not true. Already we're off to a fantastic flying start, because this is what Jared started, 8.22. We can go all the way back here. We can see 8.20. Again, we can go all the way further up here. Actually, there's a great timeline that I put together. I'm kind of proud of that. Are you proud of that? I think it looks nice. We can see here, Barry starts on 0.21. Work almost complete on 0.20, right? Jared commits his work in progress 0.21. Barry commits the work in progress 0.21 at Jared's request. And then a couple of days later, Jared throws it all out and starts from scratch. Now, we have proof of this. We can see this. It's all on GitHub. You can verify this. Like, this isn't me making it up. There is no twisting of facts. There is no lying here. This is the pure, hard, uncomfortable truth. And it's really uncomfortable for Jared because he's been lying about it. He's a pathological liar, clearly suffering from narcissistic personality disorder, and I don't think he realizes that yet. Where is it? Yeah, we can see Barry's code all the way back there being committed. Hang on, let me go back to this.
Number 1, I have never rejected a pull request or any...
Part truth. Because there's no pull request, because as we can see here, it's already there. So instead, this is what Jared says. So there is no rejection of a pull request. Partly true. Instead, he says, let me clarify for everyone. There are 8.21 branches broken in thousands of places and unraveling like a spaghetti ball. From a development perspective, it's pointless. Best to start with a clean and documented merge. Which is where he throws it out. He ignores it. He starts from scratch. Time number 1. Time number 2 was 2 weeks ago. So that's a half-truth at best.
Any code that has been submitted by yourself, Josiah, or Barry. Neither has any of the other developers. In fact, you guys have never...
No, that's actually not true, because GTO90 in Gitter has specifically said that he will not do anything unless the history is there. This is the hill they are going to die on. Both Jared and GTO90 require that the commit history is there. Every single line... In Gitter discussions, Digi Contributor seems to agree with Barry and I that rebasing did make sense, because it does. It makes sense. Smart Array has also said that while a rebase isn't without its issues, it's still potentially a good idea. It would be less work. Especially because that work has already been done by Barry. Now, when I talk about, like, the Git history, this is some of the Git history. And what he doesn't want to do is change to git checkout it's feature 8.20.1. He doesn't want to do that. That's too much effort. And then we go git checkout muster. Like, that's too much effort. He would rather spend 2 weeks, or at least actually 4 days, because let's be honest, Yoshi's done most of the work, instead.
Submitted a pull request for any of the things you've been talking about to people?
No, because it's already right there. We can see it. Same for 8.21. It's already right there. Like, it's there. There's no need for a pull request. A pull request, for the people who don't know, is me saying to DigiByte Core, hey, I've got some code. I want you to pull it from me and take it from me and put it into your repository and merge it and include it. It's there. There's no need for a pull request.
So how could we reject that?
Oh, really, really easily. You've already done that. Number one, you've done that on Gitter. You've said that you will not review anything. Same for GTO 90. Will not review it without that history. That's rejected already before the pull request is even made. But second of all, you've done it all the way up here. Here, Barry's work was already there. We'd already made so much progress. Things were working. And yet you say here, let me clarify, it's broken. You're not willing to play ball. You decided to throw it all out.
Okay, you yourself, as well as Barry and many others, agreed to a new development process that would allow...
We did, but you lost your shit before that new development process. You threw it all out. This was before the development process. But you couldn't handle it. You fucking lost everything. You literally lost the plot in Signal.
Allow all of us to have transparency, as well as the community and eyes...
Transparency, you mean like at the Git commits. They're right there. You can review them. You can go back through and you can comment on them. You can undo them. You can change them. It's not hard for you to add another one that undoes it and rolls it back and basically go, oh, look, that's literally what this one does. Reverts it.
On to make DigiByte stronger.
Okay, so far, nothing he said is true.
Please stop telling people I'm holding it back.
Who else is it? Because nobody else has said that. Nobody else has thrown it all out and started from
Others
scratch.
are holding it back when that's simply not the case.
It's 100% true.
Number two, never have I ever said that I am absolutely against any algorithm fork.
No, but you're not interested in it because we can come down. We have... Where are we? We have screenshots, Jared. You say some dumb shit, and through chance, through the fact that I've had to deal with you for the last 3 years, thought it might be a good idea to start saving some of this. Here we go. This was May of this year. We need to not... So I told you about SHA-256. And you said we need to not needle-dicking around with some new algo swap for a temporary reprieve. That was your response. It's right there. You said it. It's in Signal. I can give you the whole fucking screenshot if you really want, but I thought it'd be nice to people and not include a whole lot of extra stuff. So you said it. Again, so how are we counting on the lie count? We're getting pretty up there so far.
Never have I ever said that I didn't want to improve DigiByte and make it more decentralized with GPU mining.
That's what that looks like to me.
That is blatantly false.
No. That is true. You said we should not be needle-dicking around with some new algo swap for a temporary reprieve. He said it, not me.
That is that if we're going to do this, we need to make sure, darn sure that everything is tested.
Wow, you mean like we've been trying to do for the last, it's almost been 12 months now with Barry. He and I have been doing a lot of testing. Jared hasn't been around, so he hasn't known about the testing, despite the fact that I've put this in here, and I told him we're going to come back up here. Back in January, I said, this is all the testing we've already done. These are the limitations. These are the bugs that we need to fix. This is the result of extensive testing. This is where we are at. We know what works. We know what does not work. The really funny thing is testnet has been permitting any algorithm so we could go through all our random X and prog power tests. We need to go back and set it up properly and things. And Jared acknowledged this. He literally responds down here. He can see that message. So he knows this. So again, he's full of shit.
Is thoroughly reviewed, is dated.
Yes, it needs to be reviewed. I'll agree with that. This has never been in doubt. No, nobody ever said don't review it. We tried to get him to review it. We tried to get him to contribute, and he wouldn't play nice. Like, we've got messages from him. Where is it? Where he says he won't play nice. Where are we? Yeah, he's revoked the GitHub access. No, it's further up, isn't it? I mean, I've shown you the screenshot. Like, Jared said he would help, and then he says no, he's throwing it out. He won't even look at it.
Driven, and there's really a need for it.
There is. Okay, so that's true. I'll chalk that up to being true. It should be reviewed. There is a need for it. Absolutely. That's true. One of the few things that he's said so far that's true.
DigiByte is in a place now that's much different than even 2019, let alone 2017 or 2014. A hard fork now is significantly more risky for a whole myriad of reasons, and not only that, it will take far, far longer to carry out successfully.
Not true. Number one, he was not involved with any of those prior upgrades. So, as we were cleaning up the shit that we talked about previously, that's all the way down here. Where are we? As we were cleaning this up, as we were cleaning all of this mess up, you want to know how many exchanges and things he contacted? None. I can tell you exactly how many pools he contacted. One. He contacted the Blocks Factory through Bitcoin Talk, which I'd already done, to try and clean up from all of these double spends that were happening. Yeah, so he was not involved, but I can tell you, I have the names of the people who were involved. Actually, I wonder, did I put them in here? Because I thought that was kind of important. No, Glenn was in there, Rudger was in there, no. I didn't put them in here. I must have made it in another one. So, Rutger was in there. Who was in there? Glenn was in there. Look, I can't remember off the top of my head. There was 8 of us. Jared was not one of them. He was not involved in cleaning up his own mess.
So with that, and given the...
So basically what I'm trying to say is he doesn't know what's involved in doing that, because he wasn't involved in any of those back in 2018.
The risks that there are with hard forking a blockchain, especially with a
there's risks, but
value,
they're easy to mitigate.
It right now doesn't mean it's not going back there. There are significant risks, and so my number one priority, you know, when I ever hear something or talk about something, I'm always thinking, what are the security risks?
I wonder, Jared, what are the security risks? Let's have a look back here, because in 2018, DigiByte was double spent on, and you know what? You sat on it for 6 months, and even better than that, when I raised this with you, because I had been writing a Medium article, and I saw the orphan chart going completely off the scale. You said, we need to compare logs. We need to see what happens. This sounds very much like a Sybil attack. And it wasn't. And it took a week of convincing him. And then finally he admitted that, yeah, we'd been double spent because he found these older messages that he'd forgotten all about and he hadn't done shit about.
Are the issues. So I'm absolutely for improving the algorithms.
No, you're not. We have proof. We have said that you're not. You don't want to needle dick around with it.
Swapping things.
Stop lying.
However, if we just go change something and then find out 3 months later that those changes didn't really do much and we're back in the same situation we are now with a secret ASIC farm that's got a monopoly on an algorithm. And
right, so that's a really good point. Let's address that because you know what he's talking about? He's talking about autocrypt. That's a very good point. What's he talking about? Let's go to pull requests. There is a pull request because I mentioned this in the article. In December, I got together with Barry, Yoshi, Matthew, and some of the guys from Black Miter, and we said, let's go and look at autocrypt and how we can upgrade it. So we have in January, they've made it a pull request. Matthew's literally commented the day afterwards, which is cool, because we were in Telegram. We'd been talking. We'd all been collaborating and working together. Barry, the day following. 25 days ago. What was 25 days ago? That was the middle of July. GTO90 has finally put something in there. And you want to know why GTO90 finally said something? Because I asked Laura. I said, hey, Laura, why have none of the developers actually acknowledged this? The fact that we made it all the way back in January. Jared still hasn't replied to it. He hasn't said shit. So again, Jared's full of shit.
And basically, we didn't really do anything other than...
Well, we could have implemented it. We have evidence to say that, yeah, based on the fact... Hang on, because I mentioned this. Despite the fact that a large pool had just set up a month prior, and we knew they were using Blackminer F1 Plus and F1 Ultra FPGAs, they were getting around 20% of the box. I took it very seriously. In December. Jared was not around. Jared has not taken this seriously. A number of us have.
Introduce a bunch of risk and waste a bunch of time.
We've already done it. Like, there's no time wasted. He was not involved. His time's not being wasted. I don't know why he's so upset about it.
That's kind of what we've done with previous hard forks. We've changed algorithms multiple times. So
we've changed algorithms once, and there is no evidence, concrete, which is funny given that's what he's all after, that there are ASICs. So this is really twisted, Jared. Really twisted.
So, some serious questions and discussion need to be had around this.
They do. They really, really do. And you know what? They're all here on GitHub. Guess who's missing? Jared's missing because he ain't around. It doesn't matter. Like, look, I feel bad for the guy because I know. He's told me he had some problems in earlier in the year. I feel sorry for him. That's cool. He's had some problems in 2020. Again, like, COVID was a rough time for people. That's cool. There's no obligation to participate. 2019, also a rough time. No obligation to participate, but do not lie to people and tell them you are participating.
And that's what many of us have tried to tell you. It's not just...
No, it is literally just him.
It's me. Many of us have tried...
Okay, well, he said that. It's literally just him.
...to ask you questions. Because we look at it from a
systematic
perspective of risk. And we don't want to mess things up for members of the community.
Yeah, of course not.
Number 3,
but that's why we have these talks.
Telling people that I control things and I set the narrative. This is blatantly false.
No, this is 100% true because guess what? Let's go back and look at this timeline. Jared. You are the only one who started working solo on your own fucking GitHub repository. Where is my timeline? Here we go. Because nothing can happen without your blessing. It's not that you won't work with people. No, it is. It really is that you won't work with people. That's what it comes down to. Shit stopped when Jared threw out all of Barry's work and started over from scratch. All work had to stop because the foundation didn't know what was going on. The DigiByte awareness team didn't know what was going on. Other people that were independent, that were involved in those discussions, didn't know what was going on, and nobody could call them out because they weren't technical enough, and he abused that.
I mean, at this point, you yourself know it takes multiple people to make any peer-reviewed changes to the code.
It really does. You know what would be really great is if we had some code, I don't know, from Yoshi and Barry, that you could look at, but you didn't because you threw it out and you decided not to.
This new process that we've all agreed on, make sure that I am not the one that can step up and put a single-handed kibosh on anything.
Except it really is because you have done that. You and GTO90, the two of you have said you are not reviewing any code unless you keep the Git history in it. Because you are incapable of doing a Git checkout and swapping to another branch. Which we've literally seen takes all of seconds, and you refuse to review anything. You have said that. GTO90 has said that in Gitter.
Because number one, I don't want to do that. I view myself as a
then
member of the
fuck
community,
off.
just like everyone
Honestly,
else.
Leave.
And
do the world a favor
I'm
at this
free
point
to have
and
my
step
input
away.
just like
Charlie
everyone
Lee did
else.
it. Why won't
Doesn't
you?
mean my input is more valuable. However, I like to thoroughly ask questions and understand problems before they're...
No, you like to defer and ignore the problems and pretend they do not exist, which we saw with the infinite supply.
I address them in public. Number 4, you saying I haven't done anything or been around. That's
That's
that
true.
deeply hurts me.
You haven't.
I've I don't know how many tens of thousands of unpaid hours I put into DigiByte at this point.
Now, for which we will all be grateful for. We will always be grateful for the fact that he started it, and he was involved in the early days. But let's be honest. Look back at his Git commits over the last 3 years, and me as a non-developer has done more.
You're right to say I haven't fully been committed working on.
You haven't been around for years.
Absolutely.
Don't lie to people.
Especially this last 2 years, 2.5 years with everything that's happened in the world, I've had a lot of issues to deal with myself personally.
Right, so now he's admitting that he hasn't been around. Has he been around or hasn't he? Because why would you get upset if you haven't been around?
I for 8 months
Stop lying
was
to people
dealing
and
with a
telling them you're
situation where
around.
I was being told there was a good chance my unborn daughter's mother was going to die, and the baby too.
I'm
It was a
aware
very
of that,
stressful
yeah.
time. I had 2 failed startups. That
Also
cost
aware
me
of this,
not
something
only
he's never
months,
addressed with the
years of my
community.
life, but
Visti is
hundreds
not
of
working
thousands
out.
and probably millions of dollars at this point.
not
Both of
millions
those
of
were
dollars.
geared to be built on top of DigiByte, but for unforeseen circumstances outside of my control, they failed.
I kind of feel like at this point we should stop and ask Andrew, the other guy that was involved in that, what his side of the story is. I haven't actually talked with him. I don't know. But I know that there's people in the community who have.
That was tough for me. So
Yeah.
it is.
Okay, and so this is true. It's probably been tough for him. I fully acknowledge that. But do not lie to people and say you have been involved. You haven't been involved. You've acknowledged that, so don't fucking tell them you have.
Deeply hurtful for you to say that I've never been around, I don't care.
You're not. You're
and
fucking not
etc.,
around. That's all there is to
It's just not the
Look, Autocrypt, January 26th, not around.
true.
Nothing. You haven't
So
responded
now
to
to the
it.
community, I want to get at the crux of the issue of what all this really started. So in January, when Josiah came to me saying he found this developer named Barry,
Actually, it was last year in October, but, you weren't around. I told everybody, the group chat that you were part of, but you ignored it.
help with a 0.21 upstream merge and these other changes. At first, I was like, hey, that's great.
That's true. This is one of the few things he said that it's true. That was his first impressions, was, hey, that's great.
There's a lot of things going on, and all the extra help we could get is fine. He himself admits that in his video, that I was very enthusiastic to help.
He was, but that's where it stopped.
However, when I started going over things and I started seeing just how much there was to do and
just how much had already been done, because we gave him the list. I've already showed you this twice, the screenshot twice. We told him exactly what needed to be done. Very, very small list.
just how much had been changed between 0.017 and 0.21, I quickly realized it was a very daunting task.
But Barry had done it all. Like, it was done. It was predominantly done. You had to get off your fucking high horse and work with somebody, though, and you couldn't do it.
Been through this 5, maybe 6 times in the past. We've had a lot of issues, but
This is true. That's one of the few things he said that's true, obviously. Because last time he did it in 2018, he caused a major fucking double spend issue.
by far looked like one of the most complex upgrades, and I
That's true. So if he's already done the hard yards, why didn't we just start reviewing it? Why don't we just start at the beginning and go through all the code and review it? I don't know.
tried to tell Josiah, hey, this is much more than any single person. It's not fair to put all this just on Barry.
Bullshit. Absolute 100% bullshit. Barry had done it all. I'd already told him. He'd already acknowledged it. This is a bold-faced lie. Stop it. You're full of shit. We see through it.
We should have a community effort and we should go through it, right?
Nope. At no point ever did he say community effort. He said he was going to start from scratch himself. You've seen the tweet. Sorry, not the tweet. You've seen the signal message.
And the reason for that is, if we look at the current difference, so version 2.2, which Bitcoin just released at the end of July, has 3,438 code conflicts across 768 files with an additional 20,000 name changes.
So
now, those 3,400 code conflicts are...
There is even more to review now versus the work that Barry had done.
Or roughly 240,000 lines of code. So that is a daunting task for any one single person to...
And again, this comes back to the whole rebasing versus merging. There is a lot more to woo if you're merging the code. Yeah, there's a lot more to do. If you're rebasing, there's a lot less. There really is. And he's doing it the wrong way because that's the hill that he wants to die on. He must have that commit history in that repository branch. He can't get check out and then find the other branch. I don't know why.
You basically do on their own. And here's the deal. The only way that we can be absolutely secure or sure that we are putting out a new release that is stable and well tested and we know it changed is to take the current version of DigiByte, which
no,
is in the
this
wild,
is false.
Is version 7.173, and take the latest stable version.
No, this is wrong. We know we have problems currently. We know that there are issues with our maximum supply. We know that you've merged in problems in the past. You literally were merging in the exact process he's talking about right now, and you caused a double spend issue.
And that hundreds, if not thousands, of people have peer-reviewed for Bitcoin, which is...
This is one of the few things he says is true. More people have peer-reviewed Bitcoin than DigiByte.
Version 2.2, released as of, I think, 2 days ago, and combine those two, right? But that process is very difficult. It's very hard. And I can tell you, I've made mistakes with that in the past, and so it's unfair to put all that effort and energy on just one person. It really needs...
He says he can't put that energy on one person. Barry done it all. Why would you fucking throw it out? Stop lying. You're full of shit, Jared.
To be a community effort in a group of people. So when we look at this problem of how do we rebase, or basically how do we merge, or how do we bring the upstream changes from Bitcoin to DigiByte? There's roughly 3 ways. The first way is to cherry pick things that are relevant and needed every couple of weeks. So say, or not every couple of weeks, every month, right? So say the first Tuesday in every month.
This is merging.
Devs get together and
there's
take
2
the
ways.
latest,
You rebase or you
useful
merge.
Code from Bitcoin and put it. Well, that would prevent the issue like we have now, where we basically haven't done this in 2.5+ years now, which means there's a lot of changes. And I can tell you the rate of explosion of Bitcoin development has accelerated. I mean, you probably have 10 times the changes in this last 2 years that you did, say 5 or 6 years ago. So
yeah, but we do not have that with DigiByte. So imagine for a second. Imagine if we had a separate, segregated DigiByte, and the changes that were on DigiByte were compartmentalized. We could say we've put everything in this nice little folder. And better than that, we've even made instructions so that you can take Bitcoin yourself and you can take this code that we've gone and made, and you could even yourself merge it and rebase on top of the latest Bitcoin. How cool would that be? Damn, Barry's halfway there, dude. Shit.
So, which is cool. More people are getting involved. This technology is changing the world, right? So the second way that you can do this is just simply take Bitcoin and backport DigiByte specific changes. Well, after 7 years...
That is the easiest way to do it. 100%. 100% is the easiest way to do it because there's not that many differences. Sure, we add multi-algorithm at a certain checkpoint, we add multi-shield at a certain checkpoint, we add digi-shield at a certain checkpoint. These are all reproducible. You can go into the consensus.cpp, I think it is, or validation.cpp. It's one of those two. And you can see the height at which we make those changes and how we make them. Like, it's not that hard.
That's really not possible because there's a lot of things...
It really is. You saw the code. Barry's done it. Like... It's fucking running. It really is. That's it right there without those big error messages like your one had. It's possible, and it's so much easier. The work was done for you. It was done. You just had to do a few bug fixes, dude.
Things that can go wrong. As I explained before, you were talking about...
You mean like merging in and removing the multi-algorithm requirements when it comes to the proof of work? Yeah, you did that with merging in Bitcoin. We got double spent on literally a dozen fucking times.
For various and assorted reasons, right? And then the third way is what I explained before, which is this complete merge that is quite the undertaking, but it's the only way the community, all the developers,
which he's done now, which is hard mode, which is pointless, which is a waste of time, given Barry's already done it.
And how we can prevent future bugs. And I can promise the community that the way that we've been going about this And when I say we, it's not just me. I mean, we're talking several other people here that have
There is 2 people. There is Jared and there is Smarteray, Yoshi. The 2 of them. We've also had input from JS555 and YKeagle, neither of which, by their own admission, are developers. They've literally just been tweaking the documentation. Which, yeah. Like, kudos to them. Great that they've gone and actually done that. And it's, full marks for them getting involved. But there's literally 4 people, 2 of which are coders and can code C++, 2 of which cannot. So, let's think about that for a second. There's 2 people.
actually helped and promoted and created this process, because
2.
out of all this drama, we have arrived at a much better, stronger place for the...
No, that's just it. It is not stronger. It is not a better place. You put screenshots out showing that there were unknown rules on the blockchain. It didn't understand them. Barry's code didn't have that. There's literally a problem with fucking Dandelion, and that's it. Who cares?
Community to make sure issues like this never happen again in the future. And that's what I want my message to Josiah to be.
It's really
I don't
not.
blame him
You're
for
completely
anything. I don't blame
misrepresenting
Barry for
everything.
If I could have communicated better, I should have tried to communicate better in January. And get some...
No, this is not a communication issue. Stop fucking lying. Back in January, you were very, very clear you were not interested in working with Barry. You made that extraordinarily clear. You revoked my access, Barry's as well, I presume. And you said here, you were not interested in working on Barry's code. Not at all. This is not a communication issue. You cannot be clearer. You lied to everybody in this chat, which I identified. You lied to them all. Every single one of them.
Some of these concerns and thoughts through, as well as communicating with the community.
And now you are lying, bold-faced lie to the community.
So at the end of the day, we want a unified process for development where no single person is in control.
That's really easy. Step away. That's it. Step away. Problem solved. It's not hard.
And that's where we are today.
It's not. It's really not, because you and GTO90 have already said you will not review code unless it has your history in there. Because you're incapable of doing a git checkout and then the old branch name. You've already said that.
And we want clear and open, transparent communication, which is what we're trying to do with Gitter.
Yeah, same. I said that, and that's why I refused your call, because I wanted clear and open communication. I would not get on a phone call with Jared, 100%. He's right about that. I would not get on a phone call with him because I wanted clear and open communication. I wanted people to be able to see it, and be able to see this kind of shit.
Because part of the problem, like I've said many times before, the community got too large. There were too many different
No, that is full of shit. The community size has nothing to do with
this.
this.
A lot of misconfusion. So, Joe and Barry, you guys have done some work.
Now he's admitting we've done work. The very work that he said didn't exist at the start of it. Which one is it, dude? You're more wishy-washy than my fucking washing machine.
That's still open. We would love for you to help contribute.
This is the crux of the issue, and this is what I've said in here. We can come all the way down here. It's all about Jared. So I said it here. We now have Jared doing the very thing he got mad at Barry and me for. You know what would have been a better solution for Jared and DigiByte Coin if they really needed that history in the same branch, given Barry'd already done the work, was for them to reach out to him, or even me, and say, hey, can we contribute to this fundraiser for the first time? Because they'd never done it before. And say, hey, Barry, would you be willing to do this as a merge rather than a rebase? Do you think Jared ever did that? Nope. Absolutely not. You must go to him. He will never play nice with you.
And when I say we, it's not just me. There are several other people, right?
Several, being 2, one of which, Smarteray, Yoshi, has already been helping Barry.
This
Jared.
isn't an us versus them thing. That's
no,
not,
it really is.
It's
it
not
really
this
is
at all. So please stop.
You made it
portraying
that.
like that. What this is about creating.
Like, he literally made it that. Up here. He literally made it that. He made it that. It's all about Jared. Can't be about anybody else. The double standards here. Joe tweeting this shit is dangerous. This is me tweeting people an update about it before it's finished. Jared can do that. And DigiByte Coin, which Kegel runs, by the way, along with 2 other people.
Creating a refined process that is not reliant on any one single individual that makes DigiByte.
So this is part of the misdirection and the lies. Nobody said this is about one single individual. Nobody said we don't want it reviewed. We do want it reviewed. Go review it. The code is up there. Go review it.
Like the best it's ever been.
But he won't review it because it's not his. It's not Jared's way. It's not Jared's coin anymore. It might become something bigger, but he won't let that happen.
And I think at the end of the day, that's what you want. That's what I want. Like I can't say this enough. My door is open.
Yes, this is exactly the problem. You must go to Jared. Jared will never come to you. Never. You've got to play with him. You've got to go to his toy pit. You've got to go to his sand pit. You can't. Like, he's not going to come to you and help you out. Never. Which we've seen because he did not ever once help Barry out with his code. Despite being initially excited about it, which he admitted to, he didn't do anything about it.
Joe, I would love to do a live stream with you, talk about these issues.
I would not. No. And I'm refusing to do that now because I'm actually stepping away. So this is probably my last ever DigiByte video. Unless Jared up and leaves, of course. In which case, yeah. The community might be able to thrive. Development might be able to thrive. Until then, like, this is it. I'm out. I'm done. 100%, he's the sole cause of it.
Issues, help educate people, because we are talking about a highly technical thing here. I mean, we
are talking about a technical thing that he has abused. 100%. Nobody else knew how to call him out on this. Where is it? Where he talks about how long it's going to take. He said here in the chat, I think it would take you and I maybe 3 to 5 hours to get things done and get a compilable 8.21. You know what? Nobody in the foundation or the DigiByte awareness team or anything else, nobody else could call him out. GTO90, silent. Digi contributor was not there because he's not interested in that shit. I don't blame him. I'm over Jared's shit as well. Nobody else knew how to call Jared out on that. Despite the fact we have concrete evidence here, he's full of shit.
The reason blockchain technology is transforming the world as we speak. But it is very complicated. There's a lot
misdirection.
There's a lot. I still learn things every day. You know, I'm not perfect.
Yes, he does. He still doesn't know how multi-algo and multi-shield work. We have proof of that. You can come down here and watch the video. 2 minutes, 14, 7 seconds. Matthew comes back and corrects Jared because we do not have sharding. It does not affect block timing whatsoever.
Nobody's perfect, but I'm asking you to work with us to...
This is the problem. Work with us. Come work on what I, Jared, have started. This is the problem. Barry already had 100 times more done. And Jared would not work with him.
You know, you've got a lot of insights on a lot of different things that are beneficial, that really help the community, and you've been...
Which he won't listen to, because I told him about the problems with SHA-256 back in December. I made a fucking video about it. I talk about that in the video that I made for ProgPow and RandomX. And he wouldn't listen. He ignored them. He said that's wrong. He refused to acknowledge that was a problem.
You know, a valuable asset. So, you know, like I said, you can call me anytime.
He's not blocked right now. Just for the record, like let's do this. We're doing this live. Where is he? Last message from Jared Tate was on the 16th of July. I don't know if you can see that. He's not blocked. He hasn't been blocked. He could have messaged, but this is the problem. You must go to Jared. He will never go to you. He will never work with you. He will never play nice with you.
Tonight, you know, a lot of us are worried about you.
Fuck you.
And you know, let's put this behind us. Let's move forward and let's make DigiByte the best it can possibly be.
Yeah, which we can
You
do
know, the things that have happened
when
in
he
the past,
steps
I have
away
no
and
interest
stops roadblocking
in
it,
bringing
stops
some of them
railroading
up.
the
Obviously,
progress.
some of them I found, you know, very personally offensive, but it's water under the bridge.
You should find them offensive. They are offensive. We, as the DigiByte community, are offended that you made those problems for us in the first place.
So, anyways, if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me, hit me up. And I want to thank you all for being here, believing in DigiByte. I think you should all realize DigiByte
I still
is the
believe
real
that
deal.
DigiByte could
It is
become
really
something.
decentralized. And I encourage others in the community to speak up because there are many others that have been actively involved in a lot of this. That's not just me or Josiah. So I think that's important for anybody to watch this video to understand. There are many more active people involved. And yeah, DigiByte's the real deal.
He
So like I
doesn't
said,
want to work with any of
thank
them.
you guys.
It's really not the real deal. That's the hard part, is while he's been involved and is railroading all of this shit, it's not. It's really not. It's not the real deal. And that's harsh. So a lot of people are going to be surprised that, yeah, back in back in July of 2018, we were double spent on. We were. Ask him about it. He made me go back to exchanges and say that it was a Sybil attack. Despite me saying I thought it was a double spin, he said, no, it's a Sybil attack. Go back and tell those exchanges. Here's a bit of a timeline. So much stuff getting done, and then Jared shows up and nothing happens. We released 7.1, 7.3. Still, nothing happens. I've tried my hardest. I really, really, really have. So, hopefully, throughout all of this, you can see all of those lies, all of that nonsense, all of that misdirection, and not even half-truths, not even barely part-truths. They're just lies. They really are. A lot of that's the narcissistic personality disorder, which is why you have to go to him. He will never reach out to you. I feel sorry for him. I really do. He's like, a lot of us are worried about you, man. Fuck off. You're really not. If you were worried about me, why not send me a message and go, hey, Joe, how are you doing, man? But he won't, because he's not really worried. It's just lip service, like everything else. So it's been an hour and 12, and this has been a video. And I'm stepping away, and I'm pretty sad about that. Not gonna lie, because I never lie. Of the two of us, we have a lot of empirical evidence he's the only one who lies. Pathologically at this point. I'm gonna miss everybody. Like, I've got the fucking... It's tattooed on me. But while he's around, I can't be. And a lot of people can't be, and that's the hard part. So, one of the best things Satoshi Nakamoto ever did was he stepped away from Bitcoin. I think that same thing would go for DigiByte. I think that we could get a lot more done. I think that the code that Barry had completed back in January, that is already far further than what Jared's been doing, and full marks to Yoshi as well, because he is a fucking incredible coder. He has really carried this 8.22 for Jared, who would have been absolutely floundering without it. So full marks to Yoshi for stepping up and helping out. Dude, you're amazing. And the DigiByte community does not deserve you. Or actually, they might, but Jared sure as shit doesn't, you know? Yeah. So while he's around, this is goodbye. Hopefully this has kind of shown you a thing or two. Hopefully you realize that he's a pathological liar. He doesn't speak any truth. The only truth that we saw in that video was, like, he reached out to me for a video call and I declined him. He hasn't reached out since. So it's a sad day. I wish DigiByte all the best. I know that it could be the decentralization station that we think it all could be. I know that it could be amazing. I know that we could go back to the grassroots that we all believed in. I know that we could have the GPU and CPU mining that we were all sold on. Now we have ASICs. Some of us have been pushing every day for this. Over the last 2 years, I've done over 300 videos. That's literally a video every second day. One of us has been here. One of us has been here. I'm gonna miss everybody. I really am. Big shout out to John. I miss you, dude. You're awesome. Big shout out to Laura. You are incredible. And I wish the two of you all the best with your upcoming endeavors. I really do. I can't wait for the community to see more about that, because I think that you might actually be able to do some good for a change. Really disappointed by the number of people that have sat on the fence and wouldn't question Jared. Yeah. Thanks for the memories. It's been fun. Peace.